are you today?
I'm
Good?
fine.
Okay, very good. So today we are going to continue our next lesson. So today's lesson, it's about still related to our previous topics about what was the previous topic? You still remember? Adjective clause, right? So the last presentation, it was about adjective clause. So this topic is still related to our previous topic, and it is about adjective phrase. Okay, well, you might be wondering what adjective phrase is. Okay, so there are many kind of adjective phrase, but today we make it specific how to turn adjective clause to be adjective phrase. But before we start learning further, I'd like to let you know what are the objective or the purposes of our learning today. First, you will be able at the end of the lesson to identify the social function structure of the test of adjective phrase. Number two, you will be able to differentiate the adjective clauses and adjective phrase. What are the difference between them? Okay. And then number three, the last but not the least, you will be able to apply an adjective phrase in a correct sentence. Okay, let's start. Adjective phrase. So adjective phrase is a reduce of adjective clause. Reduce, it means less, yeah, shorten. When you shorten adjective clause, it will be adjective phrase. But how to shorten it? How to make it shorter? How to reduce it? That is our topic today. How to reduce adjective clause to be adjective phrase. So if you still remember adjective clause in terms, okay, when we are thinking about the term adjective clause is a group of words that consists of subject and verb. Clause consists of subject and verb. And phrase this it doesn't have subject or verb. It's only a group of words without subject and without verb. And there are various of phrase, prepositional phrase, noun phrase, and other. Okay. So here, how to reduce? So adjective clause reduce to adjective phrase. Okay, I'm going to give you the sample. Right, look at this one. We can reduce adjective clause to be adjective phrase only when relative pronoun is the subject, or when the relative pronoun are subject, function as subject. Well, if you go back to the previous lesson, there are several kinds of relative pronouns: who, whom, which, that, whose. Okay, right. So every relative pronoun has its function. One can be replacing an object. One can be replacing subject, replacing possessive, and then replacing a subject and object, and then use for thing and use for person. So when you are reducing or shortening adjective clause to be adjective phrase, not all the relative pronoun, not all the adjective clause can be reduced to be adjective phrase. So what are those relative pronoun? Right, so those relative pronoun: who, which, and that. Who, which, and that. While if you Notice this relative pronoun. The function of this relative pronoun is a subject. Yes or no? Who for person or for thing? Who
Person.
for person as a subject or not?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. Which is it for person or for thing?
For
For
things, sir.
for thing as a subject or for object? Replacing subject or replacing object? Both. Yeah, it can replace subject, it can be replaced an object. Both are accepted. But here, which is used for replacing the subject. And that can replace all of them. All of
Yes,
them,
sir.
right? It can replace who, it can replace which, it can replace what else? Whom, right? But that, if you remember, but that cannot replace who, which, and other relative pronoun when the clause or when the adjective clause is non-definite or non-restrictive. Okay, so here is an example. Mr. Ahmad, who teach biology in our class, is awarded as teacher of the year. Right, so let's have a look. This sentence, restrictive or non-restrictive? Restrictive or non-restrictive? Non-restrictive. Yeah, this sentence is non-restrictive. That's why we use comma here. Mr. Ahmad, who teaches biology in our class, is awarded as a teacher of the year. So here, so can you find the relative pronoun in this sentence?
Yes, sir.
What is the relative pronoun here? What's the
Who?
relative
Who,
pronoun
sir?
here? Who, right? Who is a subject or object? Replacing subject or object?
Subject, sir.
Subject, sir.
Subject, that's right. That's correct. Yeah. So this is, the sentence is still clause, right? Because the sentence has a subject and predicate. Who is a subject? Teach is a predicate for dependent clause, right? Who teach biology in our class. So we are turning, or we are reducing this adjective clause to be adjective phrase, right? The clause which is reduced to adjective phrase is this clause. Who teach biology in our class? Because this one is adjective clause. Adjective clause is describing Mr. Ahmad. Which Mr. Ahmad? This Mr. Ahmad who teach biology in our class. So this is describing Mr. Ahmad. Okay, you got it? Okay, we have not turned it into adjective phrase, but I just want to let you know that only relative pronoun replacing subject can be reduced into adjective phrase. So these are the example. Mr. Ahmad, who teach biology in our class, is awarded as teacher of the year. This sentence can be reduced, yeah, can be shortened. Yeah, we can shorten it into adjective phrase. Later on, we will change it into, or we will reduce it into adjective phrase. Number two, the man, you can use that, or you can use who here. The man who is wearing a black suit is our manager. Which is the adjective clause here?
That or who?
Which one? Which is the adjective clause here? Who
That
is
or
wearing a
who?
black suit, right? Who is wearing a black suit is adjective clause. This adjective clause is describing the man. Which man? The man who is wearing a black suit. Which man is your manager? The man who is wearing a black suit. Okay, right. So another adjective clause is badminton is a sport that or which requires skill, strength, and focus. Also here we use which or that. Yeah, which here is a subject. Which here is a subject, because after that it's followed by a verb, requires. Okay, so this is an example. Adjective clause using who, using which, and that. And those relative pronoun, the function is as subject. Okay, we have not reduced it. We're going to reduce it later. Okay, right. So here is an example. All right, there are two ways in which adjective clause is changed into adjective phrase. There are two ways. Yeah, there are two ways when we are reducing adjective clause to be adjective phrase. There are two ways. There are two ways. How? Number one, if the adjective clause contain the be form of verb, be form, there is be or to be there, yeah, omit the pronoun and the be form. We drop the pronoun, the relative pronoun, and the be. Yeah, yeah. If adjective clause has be form of the verb, yeah, be form of the verb, there is to be there, yeah, we omit, we drop, we erase the pronoun, the relative pronoun, and the be form. You got it? Okay, here is an example. This is the adjective clause. Okay, my brother who is traveling abroad every holiday speaks English very well. Okay, which is the relative pronoun here?
Who, sir?
Who, sir?
Who. That's right. Do you find be there? Do you find be there?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay, what is the be there?
Yes, sir.
What is be there?
Is.
Is.
Is correct. That's correct. Okay, so we're gonna have a look later how to change. Okay, so number two, Hillman is the man who is responsible for the error. Okay, so do you find the adjective clause here? What is the adjective clause here? Which is the adjective clause here?
Who is responsible?
Yeah, that's right. It's correct. Yeah, who is responsible for the error? Right, that's right. So what is the relative pronoun here? Who, and then do you find be there? Do you find
Yeah.
do you
Yes,
find be
sir.
there?
Is.
What is correct? That's right. Number three, the story which is presented in that drama is wonderful. So which is the adjective clause there?
Which is
Which
presented.
Which is presented in that drama.
Correct. Yeah, which is presented in that drama. Do you find be there?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Is.
So okay, guys, you have to remember, not be is not the only be, not only to be, but of course, if I change my brothers, so what should be there?
Are.
Are. That's right. My brothers who are traveling. Okay. Is, are, am. It's be. Okay. All right. Now, how to reduce these three sentences into adjective phrase? Have a look. Okay. Now it's adjective phrase. Okay. The sentence number one, the first sentence, my brother who is traveling abroad every holiday speaks English very well. Okay. Look at this one here. There are two ways in which adjective clause is changed to adjective phrase. If the adjective clause contains the be form of verb, how do you change it into, or how do you reduce the clause? You omit the pronoun, which is the pronoun who, right? And you omit the pronoun, or you drop the pronoun, and also you drop the be form. So who, we drop it, we erase it, we don't use it, we take it out. Yeah. Who as the relative pronoun, we take it out. And then is also be, we take it out. Yeah. So who is, we don't need again. When it is adjective phrase, we don't need who and is. We don't need relative pronoun and the be. So it becomes, my brother traveling abroad every holiday speaks English very well. The meaning is similar, same. Yeah, but the structure is different. One is adjective clause, one is adjective phrase. The meaning is same. If you were translating into Bahasa Indonesia, adjective clause, my brother who is traveling abroad every holiday speak English very well. Saudara saya yang bepergian keluar negeri setiap liburan, dia bisa ngomong bahasa Inggris sangat bagus, sangat lancar. And the adjective phrase, it's similar. You can translate like that too. Yeah, my brothers, young. Yeah, same like young, bepergian, young people abroad every holiday. Dia ngomong bahasa Inggris dengan lancar. Similar. Okay, both are similar. The difference is the structure of the sentence. You got it, everybody? You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now okay, this is the sentence number 2. Hilman is the man who is responsible for the error. Again, how do you change into adjective phrase? We drop or we omit. Omit meaning is kita buang ya. Kita buang or we drop it, we take it out. The relative pronoun. The relative pronoun is who here. And the be. And be form. Yeah, be verb, yeah. The verb is be, so we don't need the relative pronoun and we don't need the is. So Hilman is the man responsible for the error. Hilman is the man who is responsible for the error. You can say Hilman is the man responsible for the error. The meaning is similar. You got it? Very simple, right?
Yes,
Number
sir.
3. Now, number 3, can you change it into adjective phrase? Can you change into adjective phrase?
Yes,
The
sir.
story which
The
is
story
presented
which
in that
is
drama is wonderful. Yes?
the story presented in that drama is wonderful.
Very good, Huba. Yeah, that's correct. The story presented in that drama is wonderful. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so we drop the relative pronoun and also we drop the be form. Yeah, the be here. Okay, so this is adjective, the adjective phrase. Okay, the next. Okay, you have any question? No? Okay, then we continue to the next. This is the first one, how to change adjective clause to be adjective phrase, okay? And number 2, if there is no be form or verb in adjective clause, it is sometimes possible to omit the subject. Okay, let me move it here. We omit the subject pronoun and change the verb form to an ing form. Okay, it's a bit different. Yeah. If we don't have be form in the verb of adjective clause, there's not to be. We don't use to be. We don't use be, is mr. We don't use that. So it's sometimes possible to omit the subject pronoun. So, and then change the verb into ing. So how do we form that? How do we reduce that? We take it out, the relative pronoun from the sentence, and the following verb after that relative pronoun, we turn or we change it to be ing form. To be ing. Yeah, we change the verb become ing. Okay, here is an example. This is the adjective clause. Mr. Ahmad, who teaches biology in our class, is awarded as teacher of the year. Okay. Number 3, the man who wears a black suit every Friday is our manager. Next. Okay, number 3, badminton is a sport that, or you can use that, or you can use which requires skills, strength, and focus. Right, this is adjective clause, right? This is adjective clause. Now, how do we change into adjective phrase? Okay, here, number 1. Can you change it to be adjective phrase?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Mr.
try.
Ahmad,
Yeah,
teaching
wanna try?
biology in our class, is awarded as the teacher of the year.
Once again.
Mr. Ahmad, teaching biology in our class, is awarded as teacher of the year.
Very good. That's correct. Yeah, that's right. So it become like this. Mr. Ahmad, who teach Yeah, who we drop, we take out who, all right, and then teach we turn into ing form. So it becomes Mr. Ahmad teaching biology in our class is awarded as teacher of the year. Okay, very good. Yes. Number two, who can you change into adjective phrase? Number two, the man that or who wears a black suit every Friday is our manager.
The man
Yeah.
wearing
The
the
man wearing a black suit every day is our manager.
Oh,
manager.
that's correct. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the man wearing a black suit every Friday is our manager. That's correct. Number three. Okay, this is this. This is number three, and then number three. Number three. Yeah, number three. This number two. Number three now. Badminton is a sport that or which requires skill, strength, and focus. So can you change it to adjective phrase?
Badminton is
Is
a
a
sport
sport
strength
requiring
and focus.
skill, strength, and focus.
Yes. Say again.
Badminton is a sport requiring skills, strength, and focus.
Okay, that's very good. That's correct. Badminton is a sport. Badminton is a sport requiring. What does it mean requiring? Needing. Yeah, need. Require mean needs. Yeah, membutuhkan. Yeah, badminton is a sport requiring skill, strength, and focus. Right. So very good. Yeah, it's very easy. Yeah. Wearing a black suit is the adjective phrase, and this adjective phrase is describing the man, right? Miss Ahmad teaching biology in our class. Teaching biology in our class is adjective phrase. And the adjective phrase is describing Mr. Ahmad. Give more explanation or information about Mr. Ahmad. Okay. And then Number three, badminton is a sport requiring skill, strength, and focus. Okay, badminton is a sport. Yeah. So the adjective phrase is describing the sport. Yeah. The adjective phrase is describing the sport here, a sport. Okay, right. So now we are almost the end of our lesson today. And before that, I'm gonna give you. Okay, do you have question before we close? Before we do the exercise?
I have questions, sir.
Yes,
This is Amanda
please.
speaking.
Yes, okay, Amanda.
Okay, sir. In your example, they are present tense, right? So how if
Past tense.
so how if the sentence is not the present tense? Can it
Okay, like past tense, right?
for the example like not only past tense, right? Present perfect or
Okay, that's
others?
right. Okay, that's easy. Yeah, so this active, when you are changing the sentence or the what is that, the verb into ing, the sentence is in active. No matter the sentence is in present, the sentence is in past tense or present perfect tense. Yeah, you can change it into verb ing, but we don't need past tense, we don't need past tense. For example, like first here, Mr. Ahmad, who has taught biology in our class, is awarded as teacher of the year. So it becomes Mr. Ahmad teaching biology in our class is awarded as teacher of the year. So or past tense, Mr. Ahmad who taught biology in our class is awarded a teacher of the year. You just change it into a verb ing. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter, no matter the tense is in past tense or present perfect, the adjective phrase is still a verb added ing, verb ing. Okay, you got it, Amanda?
So sir, doesn't it change the meaning of the
No,
first sentence?
no, there is no. Okay, for example, like Mr. Ahmad who taught biology in our class last year, yeah, was, for example here, But here the verb or the tenses in the independent clause is still past tense, but not the adjective phrase. Adjective phrase is still added in, but the independent clause is still using the tenses. I mean, depend on the tenses. For example, Mr. Ahmad, who taught biology in our class last year, was awarded a teacher of the year. So was is still was here. Mr. Ahmad, teaching biology in our class last year, was awarded as the teacher of the year. You got it? Manda?
So sir, how if in the first sentence there is no the adverb of time, like Mr. Ahmad, who have taught biology in our class, is awarded as a teacher of
Yeah,
the
you
year.
just change it into ing. Yeah, because adjective phrase doesn't. We do not use whether it. We don't use the tenses. I mean the tenses of. It doesn't matter the tenses is in present tense or present perfect tense or past tense. So when you change into phrase to adjective phrase, it's still added. You just turn it into ing. You got it?
Got it, sir.
Yeah, because if you change into past tense, into past participle, the sentence would be like the previous sentence, like this one, number 3. The story which is presented in that drama is wonderful. So if you change it to be past tense, the meaning is different. If you use past participle, this is called past participle, verb 3. So the meaning become passive. The meaning become passive. The story presented in that drama is wonderful. Cerita yang disajikan dalam drama itu sangat bagus. So when you don't need to change to be ing here, to be ing, because why? Because the sentence is in passive. So there are several kinds here, right? So when the adjective clause is changed into adjective phrase, and then we omit the relative pronoun and be form. Number 1, my brother who is traveling. So when the sentence is in present participle. Yeah, this is present participle. So who and is dropped, is taken out. So Hilman is the man who is responsible for the error. When the sentence we drop relative pronoun and be, when the adjective phrase consists of noun phrase. Noun, adjective phrase. Yeah, noun phrase. Yeah, adjective and noun. Okay. And then number 3, when the sentence is in passive. Yeah, when sentence in passive also you can drop the relative pronoun and be. So you keep the what is that, the past participle there. You don't need to change to be ing when the sentence is in passive. Okay, right. So I'm gonna give you the sample later. So I hope you will understand more. Okay, let's start with the exercises. Okay, here are the exercises. Look at exercise number 1. Reduce the adjective clause to adjective phrase. Number 1. Okay, you must be careful. Some of them can be reduced and some of them cannot. But please be careful with that. Okay, number 1. Who can change it into adjective phrase?
Let me, sir.
Manda.
Badminton is a popular sport, costing a lot of money per game.
Okay, very good. Costing, yeah. So it can. Do you think it can change to be? It can reduce to be adjective phrase? Yes, it can change to be adjective phrase because that here as replacing the subject. Okay, number 2. The Sudirman Cup is the trophy which is awarded to the winner of the badminton championship. Okay, can you change into adjective phrase?
Let me start.
Okay, Pak Harun.
The Sudirman Cup is the trophy awarded to the winner of the badminton championship.
Okay, very good. That's right. This is passive. That's why we use awarded. Awarded is past participle. Yeah. Yeah, we just drop which and is be. Yeah. And then awarded, you don't need to change to be ing because this is passive. Number 3. Who will do number 3? Yes. Who? Number 3?
Let me, sir, Shifa.
Okay, Shifa.
The lady knocking my door last night is my new neighbor.
Yeah, that's right. This is the question like Amanda's asked me before, right? The lady who knocked my door last night is my new neighbor. The lady knocking my door last night is my new neighbor. Okay, this is passive or active? This is active, right? But in past tense. Yeah. Okay, number 4.
Let me, sir, Huba.
Yeah, Huba.
The student chosen to represent our school in National Science Olympiad is my classmate.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, the student chosen. Okay, here also passive. Okay, because it's passive, you don't need to change to being here, but it's still past participle, not a present participle. The student who is chosen to represent our school in National Science Olympiad is my classmate. Right. So the last. Now the last.
It cannot be
Who will
changed,
do
sir.
the last question?
I think cannot, sir.
It cannot be changed, sir.
Cannot
Cannot
change.
be.
Do you think you can change it to reduce it to be adjective phrase?
No,
Cannot
sir.
or can?
Cannot.
Cannot, sir.
Cannot. Why?
Cannot.
Because
Because
the
that
relative
use
pronoun
whom,
is not
sir.
who, which, and that, sir.
Okay,
Pronoun.
that's correct. This sentence cannot be reduced into adjective phrase. Why? Because the relative pronoun is not as a subject. Yeah, remember only the relative pronoun as a subject can be reduced into adjective phrase. Okay, very good. So now we are now at the end of our lesson. I hope you understand what we are learning today. Okay, so if you have a problem and question, feel free to ask in our discussion, and there will be more exercises in our Schoology. Please have a look and check, and then try to answer the question there. Okay, and then if you have a question again, feel free to discuss there, okay, in our Schoology. So the conclusion is changing, yeah, like Amanda's question before. So when the sentence is passive, yeah, we keep the past participle. When the sentence is active, we change the sentence to be present participle. No matter the tense is in past tense or in present, right? We still changing the verb into ing. Yeah, because if you change into past tense, the meaning will be different, or past participle, the meaning is different. It become passive. Okay, passive it's still past participle, but in active the verb it's still present. We change into present participle. Present participle is the verb added with by ing. That's present participle. Past participle is third verb. Yeah, third verb. Speak, spoke, spoken. Which is the past participle? Spoke, spoken. Yeah. Speaking, speak, spoke, spoken. Which is the present participle?
Speaking.
Speaking. Okay, right. So thank you guys for joining our class today. So the next class will be continued by Ma'am Khairul Hidayati. And I wish you have a wonderful day, and then keep learning and stay healthy. Thank you very much. We close by reciting Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.